So we've been chitting the seed all week long now. It's been soaking in water and it's got to Friday. Ideally could have done with another couple of days, but you can see some of the areas on the cricket pitch that just got a bit washed out when we did the lawn reno. You can see these kind of bits down here. It's a bit worse at the top of the square. So ideally what we're doing today is we're going to use the seed that we've been pre-germinating and we're going to get it down on the edge of the squares, just a few spot areas to do, mainly like the bowler's ends really, but we've got the germination sheets that we can germinate onto as well. Couple of things to remember when you're seeding as well. It's nighttime temperatures. Last night was 2 degrees, frost on the car, and the seed really went like that, and you're not going to get any active growth. However, the good thing today, it's kind of 17 degrees, sun's out, shining strong, and the floor's nice and moist. So we've got ideal conditions, but it is starting to get colder now. We're getting into later autumn, and so chitting the seed, pre-germinating it just means we can get that seed set a lot more before the temperatures really start to drop. And it's also important to make sure you're feeding the seed as well. It doesn't need nitrogen. There's enough nitrogen in the seed to sustain it in its early stages, but you do need a good amount of phosphorus to encourage the roots to grow. So you can see the square actually looks quite good from its renovation. Plenty of ryegrass in there, but again, these are the problem areas, and these happened when we had all that rain probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we need to get those areas repaired. This is some of the worst bit we've got at the top. The seed really hasn't taken it all, got completely washed out. So we're going to get this done, get it seeded, and then get it covered with the germination sheet as well. So we've started to get this area prepared, and we're using the Scarifier rake you'd have seen in some of our videos the other week, just to create these lines again. And then we're going to use a fork just to create some tiny little holes. We're going to sow the chitted seed by hand because we've just got some little patches to do. We're going to cover it with some topsoil, and then we're going to lute it flat. So here's one of the bare ends. You can see we're just going to use the Scarifier rake to bear down, put some nice straight lines in here. Not too fussed about the new grass that I put down because I'm going to be seeding it now anyway. It's important to rough up the surface, otherwise there'll be nothing for the seed to kind of lie down into. I mean, no need going where the grass is growing well, but there we go. And then again, we always come over just at about 30-degree angle on the other side as well. And you can see that the surface is like nicely tilled now. So next job then is to grab the fork, pop some holes in it. So got the Scarifier lines, and then I just want to pop loads of little holes with the fork, and this will create those little plant pots for the seed to go into. Even though we've had nothing but rain for a couple of weeks, it's quite firm here already because it's really clay based. Then some of the chitted seed. Now the key to this is it can be quite clumpy because it's still wet, so I actually prefer just rubbing it through my hands to make sure it falls all quite even. We're going to brush it as well anyway, so it's not too bad, but it doesn't come out as even as it would if it was all dry, nor can you see it as well because it's darker in colour. That's a nice dense coverage. Again, the only problem with overseeding or seeding too heavily, too dense, is you can encourage a bit of disease, and you've got more thatch control to do. Thatch control is not an issue for us here, but we certainly don't want the disease. Then when that's done, just a bit of a broom. So the broom here is just to push the seed into the lines that we've made and into those holes, and it does just help break it up again because we've been chitting it. Anything that's kind of stuck together will just come apart now. That's created a lovely little seed bed for all the seed to lie into. The only final thing to do there is top dress it. So this is like a clay topsoil used for cricket pitches, and all I'm going to do is sprinkle it out over the surface as even as I can. Don't worry about a few lumps here and there. Good coverage though, but without creating kind of a lump. The whole point of the wicket is that it's flat, and I'm going to grab the lawn lute just to knock down any of those spots and make sure that everything's covered up nice and evenly. I can see I need a bit more there. More there. And don't be shy with it, but just don't make sure you don't create like a hill. Certainly where the bowlers are bowling. we go, nice and flat. So that now is one end repaired. You can do that throughout the season, but you've got more favourable conditions as long as you keep it wet, or you can do it at the end of the season where it's definitely wet, but we have to try and keep it warm now. That's one end done, 13 left to go. So this is the kind of hole or bare patch you might have at home in your garden, kind of about 1 metre square, I guess. So you could go in about 35 grams a square metre if there was some grass already. We're going in at about 50, 60 grams a square metre, only because it's 100% ryegrass we're putting in, and it's really bare, and this area does get a pounding. So I want the grass seed here to kind of, for the roots kind of hold the whole area together when the bowlers are bowling and that. So this is a similar area to what you'll have at home. So it's just a matter of getting the grass seed down there. And again, because it's been chitted, it's a little bit damp, so just make sure it breaks up, and then broom it as well. Just give it a brush just to make sure that it's all loose. You don't want clumps of grass growing there and then bare patches there, and then sow it from high as well, gives it a chance to spread out. Don't worry if you go into the grass a little bit, that'll just help it knit. And then you can measure it out, weigh it out if you want to. I do it by eye because I know what 35, 50 grams a square metre kind of looks like now, but you get that down. And then the key here, now you've done all the hard work with pre-soaking it and chitting it, the key here is to make sure you've got a lot of, the more contact you have between the seed and the soil, the better germination rate you'll get. So that's the whole point of this brush now. It's just brushing it into the surface a little bit, but knocking it off of the swords and down onto the soil. But I'm also, you might do that at home. You might use some topsoil. Grab some topsoil, some compost or something. But again, here we're using a clay loam, a Surrey loam, because again, it's a cricket pitch. Clay enables us to get a really nice bounce and carry. It dries out nice and quickly as well, and a dry pitch is important. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on. Generous amount, not too deep, but I don't want any kind of lumps. And again, we have done the main dressing for the season, so this is just to cover up, just to give a bit of insulation to the seed that's there. And then I'm just going to pull and push gently with the lute. How do you know when you've done enough luting and you've got the luting just right? Well, with absolutely no weight on it, you push it back and forth and you can't see any lines. That's how you know you've got a nice flat surface. Now I can't see the grass seed now. That's got such a fine covering of loam on top of it. So that's perfect. On to the next one. So final stage, just before we put the sheet on, is to wet it. We know the seed is already a little bit wet, a little bit damp. The loam we've put on is bone dry, and the floor is also wet. So applying the water now, we're going to put this under cover for about a week because we've got grass that's already established, so we don't want to leave it for the usual kind of 2 weeks. So we're going to put it under water for a week. So I want to make sure it's got moisture. The rain will get through the cover, but in case we don't have any rain, I want it to be warm, I want it to be moist under there. So that's it, and then it's time to put the covers on. So the final step then is putting on the germination sheet. Huge, massive 25 metres by 4 metre sheet. The reason for that is it's getting cold at night. It's going to keep the temperature of the floor kind of underneath the cover 2 or 3 degrees higher than it is right now. It's about 14, 15 degrees during the day. It's just going to help that seed germinate. The problem we've got now is we've got new grass under there which needs the sunlight, and the bare patches which need the darkness from the sheet. So we'll only leave it on for a week instead of the 2 weeks. Other benefits, it will keep the dogs off, it'll keep people off, and it'll keep the birds off because they'll eat an awful lot of this grass seed if they could. We had a frost last night, it was about 2 degrees centigrade, so again it will just help protect against that. But I know for the next week we're looking at 8-9 degrees at night, which is okay. As long as your soil temperature is 10 degrees, you'll get good germination, you'll get good seed development. So we're just going to bring this sheet on and then peg it down. We're good. Right. Nice. So it's been a week now since we put the seed down. Come and have a look. I've not seen it yet. Come and have a gander, see if it's actually worked or not. So there we are. It's a week later now, and we've got the germination sheets have been on for 1 week, and we pre-germinated all the seed. I've been around, took the pegs off, so all we've got to do now is peel the sheets back and have a look. A few areas across the rest of the square that we've seen, a few of the bare areas, I found some moss that I'll show you, but I've also found good germination rates of the ryegrass that we put down without without covering as well. So I'm quite hopeful for what's under the sheet. So let's have a look. Right. Oh. old mate. Right then, let's have a look. So this is the end of the square now. You can see where the germination sheet was. It was down here. Slightly different colour, but look at the germination that we've managed to get. Far better than if we hadn't covered it. Loads of new grass just popping through, and I say it's only been 1 week. We would normally go for 2. But that's just going to thicken up now. We've got beautiful sunshine this week. It's warm as well. It's 18 degrees again. Quite an unusual kind of October. But this germination sheet and the pre-germinating has absolutely done its job. The only things left to do now is feed it and cut it. So we've got a good winter feeding program, low nitrogen, good amount of phosphorus, potassium, and a little bit of iron later on when it starts to get a little bit kind of cooler and the moss might start to come in. But apart from that, strong feeding program, good cutting program throughout the winter. Don't cut it if it's going to frost. But apart from that, that is a successful renovation. There we go, absolutely chuffed with those results. Pre-germinating the ryegrass seed and using the germination sheets have meant that we've got really great germination in just 1 week, and those seeds are going to continue to develop and the sun is going to beat down all week long, and that's what these new seedlings need now. It's the sun, so they can start creating the energy and to drive those roots really deep. They've had their pre-seed fertiliser, so the roots now can start developing with a lot of phosphorus in there, and I'll put on an autumn feed in about 2 weeks time, just going into the early middle November, depending on how that grass seed develops. All I've got to do now is get the first cuts done. I'll leave it probably for another week on those ends, but certainly the middle of the square is absolutely ready for a cut now. So we've done chitting grass seed pre-germinating in the lawn care environment as well, so if you want to see that video, click on this link over here. But thanks for watching. Give us a like, leave a comment, tell us what you thought of the results. Could they have been better? Would you have done something different? Let us know, and we'll see you next time.